Good evening and thank you for watching Fox 4 News. I'm Austin Sack.
And I'm Jocelyn Stafford. There is currently a two-vehicle accident on Patterson Road and 1st Street.
That's right, Jocelyn. Earlier this evening, two vehicles collided. Crews are currently working to clear all debris from the accident and are asking everyone to avoid the area of Patterson Road and 1st Street. GJPD is on scene and reports one vehicle collided with a power pole. Utility companies are assessing the stability of that pole.
One driver was transported to the hospital for evaluation, but their injuries did not appear to be serious at the scene. No citations have been issued yet, but are likely forthcoming.
Yeah, and we'll continue to update you on our website, westernslopenow.com, but please remember to drive safe.
A speck of fentanyl can kill an elephant, and it's killing thousands of unsuspecting Coloradans every year.
Yeah, and the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment data shows the number of fentanyl-related deaths in our state nearly doubled in 2021. Here on Fox 4 News, I've been following the fentanyl crisis in our community, and now I'll show you why Mesa County is acting fast to try and save lives.
We can't sit back and take any chances that people aren't aware.
Mesa County first tackled meth when it exploded on the scene in 2004. Now the county and district are teaming up to take on fentanyl with a prevention and awareness task force.
And the message is so different.
With fentanyl, addiction is not the concern.
It's literally one pill could kill you.
Local fentanyl awareness advocate Andrea Thomas first sounded the alarm in 2018.
The Voices for Awareness, a group that she has created, is doing excellent work.
Thomas took on the fight after fentanyl killed her 32-year-old daughter, Ashley Romero, who unknowingly took a pain pill laced with fentanyl.
I think it's critical that we have a community-wide approach to this because this is such an important and devastating issue, truly.
Voices for Awareness is spearheading the multi-agency campaign.
We all have our little piece that we can contribute.
Community Hospital is donating gift cards to people that participate in a focus group, so the campaign can identify which age groups is most affected and what messages they are receptive to. Mesa County commissioners, the sheriff's office, the drug task force, the police, and health departments are all in this together. Dealers transport powder fentanyl almost exclusively along I-70.
We are seeing a lot of local pills that have fentanyl in them, and that's really what's being distributed on the streets of Mesa County.
The Colorado DA's council plans to pass new laws.
We want to create a new crime that is distribution resulting in death.
Carrying a minimum mandatory sentence of 12 to 32 years.
If you are selling laced drugs that have fentanyl in them and kill somebody, we're going to hold you accountable.
Dealers prosecuted now cannot be charged under the new law.
But I know people like Andrea Thomas, who lost a loved one, are very invested in trying to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Mesa County's fentanyl prevention and awareness campaign is changing the terminology. These aren't fentanyl overdoses, they're fentanyl poisonings, where just one tainted pill can kill.
A statewide fentanyl campaign will launch this year, but Mesa County officials say their message can't wait. For more details on fentanyl poisonings, head on to westernslopenow.com.
Yeah, Jocelyn, and as the COVID-19 Omicron variant continues to take over the U.S., health officials are now tracking a new subvariant of Omicron called BA.2.
That's right. The World Health Organization says the new Omicron strain, BA.2, is just as severe as Omicron's original strain. The new strain has only been identified in South Africa so far, but as more Americans get tested, more cases should show up.
Yes, and a sequence of positive COVID-19 tests can then be matched to confirm cases of Omicron BA.2. Mesa County's COVID-19 dashboard will include the new strain once the state matches cases. Until then, health officials continue to urge everyone to get vaccinated.
To protect yourself and others against all strains of COVID-19 remain the same as well. You should use a layered approach to protection through getting vaccinated and boosted.
This is the strategy that is going to work to control SARS-CoV-2 and make it less of what we call a pandemic and more of an endemic disease.
Mesa County Public Health currently offers vaccinations and testing at Mesa County Fairgrounds. For more information on how to protect yourself against all strains of COVID, head to westernslopenow.com. Now, Austin, today was sunny but chilly.
You're right, Jocelyn, and you know the groundhog just told us we have 6 more weeks of winter, but we got a weekend ahead of us. Let's take a quick look at the weather with your first forecast.
Thanks, Austin. Thanks, Jocelyn. These are the temperatures outside right now as we gear up for the weekend. In conclusion with the work week, we have sub-freezing temperatures. Come on, Moab, catch up. They're still at 32. The rest of us are heading into a clear, quiet, and chilly night tonight. Now, there's a couple of spots, and I'm specifically referring to Delta, that will actually be colder Saturday morning than we were this morning. We had a chilly start today. We're going to continue with these cold starts through the weekend. We do have slowly improving temperatures for the afternoon hours, and thankfully, we don't have a whole lot of wind that's going to push that wind chill, pushing those temperatures down. 5 miles per hour is enough to do so. Light winds, that's in the forecast. Hazardous weather, not so much. That sliver of green, that neon green, that's a flood advisory for the Roaring Fork River. I'll talk about that in the full forecast, plus details on the weekend. There is a storm system, but the weekend is going to overrule. The good conditions will overrule that system. Stay right there.
Thank you, Russ. A trooper involved shooting overnight in Grand Junction leads to an hour-long search for the suspect. Police say the incident happened at about 10:45 p.m. near North First Street and Gunnison Avenue. Authorities say a state trooper pulled over a car with a couple inside. At some point during the stop, the trooper called out over his radio that shots were fired and a male passenger ran away.
Yeah, Jocelyn, the trooper involved in the incident was not injured. The suspect suffered minor injuries during the apprehension. He was taken to a local hospital before being released to law enforcement. James Genrick is serving a life sentence convicted of planning a series of pipe bombs that killed 2 people in Grand Junction back in 1991.
But Austin, not everyone thinks he's guilty. A nationally known organization is helping Genrick fight to overturn the guilty verdict and get his life back. Newly discovered evidence triggered new hearings over the last 2 weeks and a motion for a new trial. The Innocence Project, devoted to exonerating wrongly convicted people, took up Genrick's case. The group claims evidence used to help convict him, a tool mark examination, is unreliable.
Yeah, and his attorney tells us flawed forensic evidence is a leading factor in over 52% of Innocence Project cases, saying the evidence used against Genrick in the 90s is not enough to convict him today.
No one should be convicted or serve 30 years in prison, as Mr. Genrick has, based on purportedly scientific forensic evidence that we now understand is neither valid nor reliable.
I am closely following this case. The judge asked both sides to provide briefs and proposed findings later this spring. Stay tuned next Monday and Tuesday as I investigate the latest.
And officials say a woman allegedly kidnapped in Rio Blanco County this week works for a Colorado ranch owned by former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg.
Authorities say on Wednesday, 46-year-old Amanda Edinger was kidnapped at gunpoint from the ranch, forced to leave the property in her own vehicle. The suspect then took Edinger to the Denver metro area, making several stops before going to a motel in Cheyenne, Wyoming, where law enforcement caught up with them. Edinger has since been reunited with her family.
Authorities arrested 48-year-old Joseph Beecher of Craig. He's facing multiple charges, including kidnapping and felony menacing. The circumstances of why Beecher traveled to the ranch are still under investigation. Officials say he has no connection to either Edinger or the Bloomberg family, who weren't at the ranch at the time. Authorities say Beecher was in possession of multiple firearms at the time of his arrest.
More than 100,000 people in the U.S. died last year from diabetes, leading to calls for prevention and awareness.
Yeah, and on Fox 4 News, our Cora Dickey talked to a local expert on how diabetes numbers look in our area and what you can do to take care of your health.
Diabetes is becoming more and more common for people of all ages in the Grand Valley. While sugary snacks and obesity are contributing factors, St. Mary's Diabetes Program Coordinator Catherine Stevens-Bogart says there are multiple contributions and no single cause is bigger than any other.
So your risk of type 2 diabetes increases the more of those factors that you have. So just one, you're at risk, yes, but the more that you have certainly accelerates your risk.
Luckily, people diagnosed with prediabetes or identified as high risk may be able to change the result. Dietitians and diabetes educators for St. Mary's Medical Nutrition Therapy consult patients, creating meal plans to help lose weight along with gaining movement and reducing stress. Lifestyle changes are the best prescription to prevent or manage all types of diabetes.
An ounce of prevention is worth 10,000 pounds of cure. And so preventing it through modest weight loss, stress management, adequate sleep, regular exercise is your best bet.
When someone has type 2 diabetes, St. Mary's advocates managing what they can control. Patients who manage blood sugar levels and exercise regularly may not need any diabetes medication or bariatric surgery.
In some individuals, yes, it reverses it so long as they keep their weight off. But if that individual, whether they've had bariatric surgery or not, goes on to regain weight, the probability of that diabetes coming back goes back up.
If you want to check your risk for prediabetes, type 1 or type 2 diabetes, ask your doctor for a pre-DM risk test or access a pen and paper quiz. Those links can be found on westernslopenow.com. Reporting first on the Western Slope, Cora Dickey, KREX5 News.
Still to come on Fox 4 News at 6:30, despite COVID-19 restrictions, a 9-year-old got his birthday wish, and we got to tag along.
Plus, your full forecast is just minutes away. Chief Meteorologist Russ Pappas has your weekend weather.
And Austin, we have a packed sports segment with Derwin Morrell still to come. Don't turn that channel, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Fox 4 News. Now for a much-needed slice of some good news this Friday.
COVID has had a huge impact on our everyday lives, especially when it comes to simple but important things like a small child's birthday party. 9-year-old Marco of Fruta was filled with hope for a big birthday party, but because of COVID, his family worried friends might not make it to the celebration.
That's when a family friend in District 51 decided to make his birthday wish come true and asked us to tag along.
Happy birthday to you! Cha-cha!
This Friday, District 51, friends, Nothing Bundt Cakes, and a CMU football coach came together to surprise 3rd grader Marco on his birthday.
So how old are you today? 9. 9 big bunny ears, huh?
With COVID making it difficult for families and friends to get together and celebrate special days, Marco's family sent out invitations for his birthday party, not sure how it would turn out. But when a family friend and the school heard about the dilemma, they came together to help him celebrate and invited us too.
This was a surprise. I did not know this would happen.
Not only did Nothing Bundt Cakes provide cupcakes for Marco's class to enjoy, a CMU football coach gifted Marco one of the team's game-winning balls.
This is the winning football from the Colorado Mesa University Mavericks game that they played against the School of the Mines. You could have this football to take home with you.
So, in the midst of a hard year, Marco went from uncertainty to celebration. From everyone here at Fox 4, happy birthday, Marco. Thank you, Russ, and thanks for watching this evening. That's all the time that we have.
Yep, let's get you right to your Friday weekend plans. But for Fox 4 News, I'm Austin Stack.
And I'm Jocelyn Stafford.
And if you don't have plans tonight, catch us back here at 9 o'clock with Rob Hagan. Good night.